Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League for Season 15, Round 16 of the Championship. It is the Singapore Grand Prix here from the fantastic Marina Bay Street Circuit. I'm your host, Zach RC. Alongside me once again is Season 11 champion, Touchby Pope. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. Very happy to be here. Obviously, the conditions are very warm, even though it's late at night here in Singapore. But I'm excited to see how the drivers come up to the test of Singapore. It's a testing circuit with obviously the new Sector 3, which I'm sure will highlight when we do the fast lap around here. But I'm excited, very much so.
Definitely Singapore, one of the more entertaining races of the season, depending on who you are and how it goes. In terms of driver lineup, of course, for the first time quite well here, we've got a full grid, and not just a full grid, but a full grid of all 20 full-time drivers, including some new faces.
Yeah, no, it's very, very good to see. It's lovely to see everyone being able to turn up, all the full-time drivers, which means every point now matters. There is no rejigs of reserves not scoring any points. These positions matter to these guys, so you have to fight tooth and nail completely every single lap around the circuit. And like you mentioned, two new drivers. We've got Grovey debuting in the Red Bull, and returning driver of Slazage Volvo. Oh, I'm just going to call him Slazage. I think that'll make my life a lot easier. Raced here in 2021. I've raced him personally since 2020. A very, very quick driver.
Look forward to seeing how he's going to get on. And of course, Che, after winning just 2 weeks ago at Zandvoort, returning to the league as a full-time driver for Haas for the remainder of the season. Was that new last week, or am I getting that wrong? Was he
new last week? Yeah.
Okay. Okay, never mind. My memory is off kilter. Right. So Pope, then I want you to follow on with Ethan for us. Can you take us around a lap of the new modified Singapore Street Circuit?
I would love to. Going through.
Cut out there, but nothing. Can't quite hear
Yeah, there was some technical difficulties there, guys. I do apologise.
Carry on.
Controller just. So turn 9, right? You want to go as far out to the curb as much as possible. It's very, very easy to clip a little bit damage on your left-hand side of the wing. Turn 6 is flat out. It's a kink. You barely feel it, but it is still a corner. Turn 7 is the start of Sector 2 here at the circuit. A very, very long technical sector. This track wears down the tyres, and the drivers need to be on it at all times. Make sure you do not spin out and lose any grip. Going through turn 9 here, we go into one of my favourite little straights of the circuit. You can make a great move into 10, where the Singapore Sling used to be. A fantastic set of corners, but this just flows perfectly now. Going into their bridge, where we've seen many drivers over the air. I think Pascal Verlaine and Romain Grosjean both spinning there, blocking the circuit. We might see a safety car due to that if we see that today. Going to a DRS straight now. This is the second one of the circuit after turn 13 and into turn 14. Start of Sector 3 now. The new circuit. This used to go very technical into 2 chicanes out after each other. No, it's a straight line now, absolute straight line going into turn 16. I'm sure we will see some moves down the inside. Imru sets a 128.7. Let's see where Ethan goes after this. Turn 17. Last little straight before 18 and 19. 2 corners that blend into each other, crossing the line. It's looking to be a 129.8.
Fantastic lap there from Ethan, but still second to Imri. So thank you, Pope, for taking us around the lap as his teammate PJ goes third fast. Look how close it is there between the 2 McLaren cars to kick things off. Very tight to start off.
Yeah, no, McLaren obviously doing very well. P9 and 10, maybe last race, I cannot remember too well. I think that's when they qualified, sorry. I always say McLaren's done very well to just consistently get the points, but as we said, full-time drivers this time round and with new faces, will they be able to keep the point scoring consistent towards the end of the season? We'll have to find out.
We'll have to wait and see, definitely. Speaking of our new faces, see Grovey's there on a lap in the Red Bull. Looking forward to seeing how she gets on in her first race with us tonight. I saw her in practice before the session start. She did a full race distance based on the screenshots I saw, if I'm not mistaken.
That's very impressive. I mean, she's obviously trying to get accustomed to the circuit, maybe. I've heard that she didn't really say it was the strongest one. Nicholas got a medium time score with 129.199. Very good lap. Grumio go P2. See where Grumio goes. P3. Wow.
Third fastest.
Fantastic lap there. someone who said they weren't very confident around the circuit. That's a great first banker lap. So we'll see where she lines up later on. Obviously, we're going to take a look at Slazenger, who's still in the pits, probably just waiting to get the car fully adjusted. As Paris out in turn 11 or turn 10. Oh, it's not good for Paris, that. We might get a good glimpse of Fan, who's on the medium tyres, of course. Let's see. Oh, no. Oh, I think he's just gone straight on, maybe clipping the inside, which I've done that before. I got damage on that in this league. It's a horrible set of corners, but...
Oh, ratioed out.
And then Sniper Hunter. Wow. Okay, so Sniper Hunter, who is a championship contender, not had a very good few weeks, and is now disqualified, so we'll be starting last. This is turning away a Fan now on the Mercedes team. Sniper is really just not getting the luck he needs right now.
Definitely not, and it's allowing Fan to cruise away with the championship lead. Is already 27 points to the good when you look at the standings. Of course, neither one of these two scoring last time out, if my memory is correct, from Monza. Nicholas Meyer going on to win for the first time. Puts him up quite away in the Drivers' Championship. Puts him up to P11 after just 3 races so far. He's done a fantastic job and already getting on to scoring points, being a big help to Alfa Romeo as they continue to try and push to close up on Alpine and Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship. In terms of that Constructors' fight, of course, that's largely swung in Mercedes' favour now. 56 points over Alpine. So things are looking good for the Silver Arrows right now. It's looking like Alpine and Alfa Romeo will be struggling to keep up, while Williams and Red Bull fight for 4th.
Yeah, obviously Mercedes have really come into a stride, especially from, I think, maybe Belgium onwards a little bit earlier. Hungary was really good for them. I think the second half of the season has really favoured both drivers. I mean, we've seen BJ perform here countless times, and Fan is just, I mean, since race 1, Fan's been absolutely on it. It's been a fantastic driver this season. So Mercedes really coming into their own a bit, and I think we'll start trying to run away with it. But obviously Grumio is back. I think it's the first time in a while where we see Grumio hit a consecutive amount of races. Hopefully that will get him back into the spirit. Might not be fighting for the championship this season, but can definitely get Alpine at Constructors' Championship.
Definitely, I'll tell you, that fight isn't over yet in the slightest. You see, Che retirement session got a quali ban for this week. His teammate Shane, of course, had a fantastic start last week in Monza before things sort of fell away from him in the mid-portion of the race. We had connection issues of our own there. He struggled with that quite a bit last week too. So hopefully this will be a bit better for him. He's already in P5 after his first run. 1 minute 29.781, which is just about a second slower than Imri's first time. Of course, I mean, Imri came to me about 10 minutes before the qualifying started and said that we're going to see some fantastic driving from him this week. Well, he hasn't had the best of starts. Of course, bad luck as things haven't gone his way so far in these first 2 races. Almost the complete opposite of how Nicholas Meyer has started. He's had it all go his way so far. But perhaps tonight could be an upturn in spirits for Ryan Imri, who currently sits on provisional pole.
Yeah, Emery really needed just to settle down a little bit. He's been so quick and we've seen these glimpses, but just not be able to make the results matter. So on pole right now, let's see where he ends up. Predictions for the race, obviously we've only really had 1 banker lap here. Obviously the lap time around here is quite long, obviously shortened down now, but still 1 minute 30 is a very long lap. It's a very tiring race. Definitely. So what are your predictions for us, Zach?
I'll be honest, I find it, given the number of cars got up here, I honestly find it difficult to pick a winner. I think Singapore, sort of like Monza, is one of those races where anything could happen and anyone could actually go on and win this. I mean, I'll be honest, this could be a bit optimistic, Pope, but it wouldn't surprise me. If Grovy's going to start from as high as this on the grid, it wouldn't surprise me to see her win on debut. I mean, or even a podium at that. I'm not sure. We'll just have to see how she gets on with the rest of the field, but it should be exciting all the way.
Oh, no, definitely. For me personally, it has to be Grumio. I know personally, Grumio is absolutely fantastic at the circuit. Slazenger is
parked in a dangerous location.
We're having a couple of disqualifications here, which is gonna
turn 13, I think.
Yeah,
I forget my
gonna make a very exciting race though for us to qualify with some fast drivers. Starting further back, obviously Che's out the session, Paris. Both Aston Martin's not having a great time. Aston Martin's not had a good season so far, but for me, going back to what we were saying, Grumio is going to absolutely dominate this race. He loves Singapore. I've had to witness him absolutely dominate this race before as a driver, so I'm going to put money on him.
And I've seen it as a commentator a fair few times in this league. But of course, now, Pope, this is the season you get to sit here and witness all these races with me, and I hope you've been enjoying yourself so far this season as we continue on with this qualifying section. Yellow flag sector 2, that's one of the Ferraris there, I believe, and that is Lucky Lambo, who may have got around. He's got no wing on the car, so he's got to come back to the pits and recover that before we can carry on. But P8 right now in quali, so not too bad as it stands. But of course, could be some improvement there. I mean, he's only a 10th of the 2 McLaren cars. Scrap that, half a 10th as it stands. So it could still go up from it. We could see him as high as P6, maybe even P5. Should he string another lap together?
No, definitely. Everyone's quite close right now. Imri just set a lap, just gone. Did invalidate in the last sector, but was actually down on his first attempt. So I'm not too sure if that's the track not improving. Maybe he's on the fresh tyres. So yeah, I'm gonna have to see if the track might not be developing as drivers maybe expected. Obviously, going through a qualifying session, you expect the track to get faster. That's where the faster times come near to the end of the session. Obviously, for people letting off the sandbags a little bit as well. But something to keep note of that.
Definitely. But I want to keep your eye on Grumio here, who, of course, we said he's getting back into a stride, hopefully. This will definitely help him, of course, trying to get back to that qualifying form from last season. He's 3/10 up in the first sector on this lap. Of course, you think back to last season, 18 poles from 24 races, if my memory is correct. He's almost half second up on his previous effort. This is putting him pole by about 3/10 or so. Should he finish on, perhaps even 4/10, maybe even half a second at that. So just keep an eye on him here into the last couple of corners and see how he comes out.
Yeah, got to keep our eyes fixated. It's something magical to see Grumio hook up a qualifying lap, especially around the circuit, which he has won the countless times. I'm pretty certain got a pole here last season as well, at 18th, and that fantastic lap time, 4/10 faster than Imri, who 1:28.7 is nothing to be sniffed at as well. It's a fantastic lap, but obviously cooling down the car now. The car is going to take a battering around this, so you got to make sure you're not pushing it around every single corner at all times. But that is a fantastic lap time by Grumio, and I won't even put money on him to go faster in his next run.
We'll have to wait and see. We've set it down before. Several cars up the order now. BJ into 4th place, Nicholas into 2nd, and I was about to mention Websy, who had briefly gone into 4th, but he's lost 2 spots very quickly there, but still doing a good job in the Williams. Put himself on the 3rd row, and scrap that, Fan goes 5th fastest, so those Mercedes on soft tyres now, and they're on the move back up the order.
Yeah, Mercedes are coming to get a little bit of their dominance again. They don't worry about qualifying a little bit further down. P4, P5 is perfect for them. As long as they can consistently get podiums, even wins or high points, that will keep them in the running for this championship in both of them as well. Obviously, so what I'm going to look at is Websy, who has been my driver of the season so far. He's impressed me so much, and I love his post-race interviews as well. They are absolutely beautiful, poetic speeches.
Definitely.
But I want 29.1, definitely could go faster. I know that from Websy, but it's qualifying doesn't really matter. It's all about the race for Websy, and he's shown that off so well.
Definitely, because you've got to commend him here. 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship right now, 3 points clear of BJ, and as of right now, just over, it's 31 points behind Sniper Hunter. Honestly, if Sniper continues on this run of form, could we see Websy take 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship if Fan runs away with it? Is that possible?
I never say never. I genuinely think he could. For me, Sniper's hit a spot which no driver wants to be in. Is okay, you've been really comfortable, and we know the confidence he has. He's a great driver, we know that. He's a very fast driver as well. However, little mistakes and little incidents do build up, and then it just kind of knocks you off your pedestal, and it just makes you lose your head a little bit, and you can still have all the pace in the world, but you won't be able to finish the races. I suffered that in season 12, where I had the pace, and I still won races. However, I was nowhere near as consistent because the first race did not go well at all for me, and it just knocked my confidence completely. And it happens, that's racing, but you just have to try and get yourself back up as quickly as possible.
Fair enough. I do remember the spin mid-race that day in Bahrain. I want to take it back another season from there to your title-winning season, season 11. Was there any sort of dip in form for you? Because obviously I wasn't there at that point. I just came at the end of the last season, so the last race of that season. So was there any point where you struggled with a dip in form and thought perhaps you might lose the championship? Was that there at all?
So it was a weird one in season 11 for me because I was very just close with BJ. To be honest, I can't really remember the majority of the beginning of that season. It's mainly at the end where I kind of just felt like I was running away with it. But it was a very hard season, definitely, because the cars were completely different to 2020. but it suited my driving style perfectly. And I feel like I unlocked the car before a lot of other drivers did. So it was the mid part of the season. I think definitely Monaco, that area. I've always been very strong in Monaco, Canada. The start of the European circuits, I absolutely adore it. And then at the end of the season, I'm better as well. But I think at the beginning and then the 3/4 point, I did struggle a little bit, I won't lie. So I'll probably say, yeah, that's my dip in form, but it's about mentally preparing yourself to get into a championship fight and being able to hold it and just consistently score points when you probably wouldn't have. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense than something I could have said. So it's always good to have a driver, not just a driver, but a champion of the series in the box as well, just to give us that extra bit of insight. But anyway, we'll jump back into qualifying now. Just over 2 minutes to go now, Pope. We're looking at those final runs. Could anyone perhaps upend Grumio and snatch pole position? Could we see Nicholas come back? Because he's less than a tenth behind. We haven't noticed this, but he's right there with the record champion.
Yeah, Nicholas is fantastic. He's been very, very good since day one. Obviously, getting pole on your debut is something to never be sniffed at. So definitely could fight Grumio. But like I said, I think Grumio's still got a hell of a lot more time in that. But something to note is Nicholas has saved a set of softs. Soft tyres around the circuit will die off quite quickly. However, late safety car, I know who to put my money on.
I don't know who you'd be referring to there. Are you referring to Grumio or are you referring to
Nicholas? Okay. Because he has the fresh tyres and obviously late safety car. You want to on those softs.
Fair enough. Given you even putting your money on Pope on Grumio all night, then I thought that's who you'd go for. So I wasn't sure for a second. But Nicholas is on his way around here, but he hasn't got long. Of course, he's got about a minute or so to get through these last few corners. He's got about a clean bit of space here. There's a yellow flag behind it. That is lucky. I think he's gone around again. And it looks to be struggling on those soft tyres. And in Websy, you have to move out the way there in order to avoid hit. Wait, is that Websy? It is Websy. But Connie Goblin is out on lap 2, which we're starting to see a bit more of that nowadays, which is always good to see. As these drivers start to begin their last lap. Nicholas over the line. 1 more minute to go. And waiting for that checker flag to fall in about 50 seconds. And we'll see who has the guts to put another lap run on the circuit and put it on pole position.
Yeah, this is crunch time now for all these drivers. They're all going to try and get their fastest laps. Obviously, the two Mercedes about to start their laps with Grumio just behind. And then, like you said, Courtney, who is coming out on circuit a lot more, which I love to see. Courtney's a fantastic driver. And always love to see him go for a qualifying attempt. But, yep, 25 seconds now. All the drivers that are running out lap, apart from Curtis. Curtis is the last one to start his lap. So we'll see who will be taking pole position very, very shortly.
Definitely. I see Lycon over the line there. He's just got set 1 minute 30.010. So he's got time to go for one more. He'll be the last car over the line at session's end. Waiting for that checker flag. The first car to come around to the line will be the Red Bull of Grovey here, who currently sits 1.9 down from her previous effort. So I think chances are P6 will be the best that she's hoping for in this one. She's putting it into the pits, so that'll be qualifying over for her. So P6 will still be a solid start if she can hold on to it. And Grumio retiring this session. What's happened there?
Grumio, yeah. He invalidated his lap time, so he is invalidated. I was about to make mention to that, but did it for me. Grovey obviously retiring as well. P6, nothing to be sniffed at. That's a great first qualifying attempt here in the RDL. Got Ethan across the line on 29.2, very good lap. And then Imri, so Imri within a tenth.
Oh, Nicholas!
And then Nicholas
on pole.
2 tenths ahead of Grumio. That's a fantastic.
Websy towards the line. Could it be a higher on the grid? Nope, stays P7. Lucky Lambert next to go through. He's a quarter of a second down on his previous effort. Let's see if he can improve over the line. He can't improve. Stays in P9. Here comes the two Mercedes cars. This is where it becomes big. Fan is a quarter of a second up. Going into this last lap on the circuit. Puts it P4 in front of BJ. Comes into the pit lane. Fan will start fourth, I think. Unless any of these cars behind can have anything to say in the last moments. Here comes Courtney Goblin over the line. Puts himself back down to P14. Lycon is invalidated. Curtis towards the line here. Could he improve and put himself in the top 10? He can. P9 for him. PJ into the pits. Lycon invalidates. Lucky over the line. And that should more or less sort it. So Nicholas Mayer once again puts the car on pole position. And will lead Grumio, Imri, Fan, BJ, Grovey, Websy, Ethan, Curtis and Lucky to turn 1. That's your top 10.
Yeah, Nicholas showing an immense amount of confidence and really showing the big boys that he's not just come here to sit back for this part of the season and then attack next season. He's attack straight from the beginning, and it's very impressive. 2 times ahead of Grumio, who Grumio will admit this is his probably best track. So I can't wait to see those two have a ding dong up front. But obviously Imri not too far behind as well. Will Imri actually be able to keep up with him without making these mistakes that we've seen in the past few races? I know he can, because Imri's a fantastic driver. So I give a lot of confidence to Imri, and hopefully they can just take their time a little bit with this race and adjust it. It's a long race, so don't need to push constantly.
Of course, Ratio there starting, so Sniper starting dead last. I end up saying that all night because he's got the different game tag on today. But yeah, could we see him charge through the field? Have to wait and see there. So your top 5 before we go to the break: Nicholas on pole, Grumio in 2nd, Imri 3rd, Fan in 4th, and BJ in 5th. So those are your top 5 for the start of the Singapore Grand Prix, round 16 of the championship. We're back with you in a few minutes' time for the start of the race. So don't go anywhere. This has all the makings to be an absolute audio classic. We'll see you in a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Singapore Grand Prix, round 16 of the Championships RDL Season 15. Myself and Pope bring you through the action once again. And Pope, we should be in for an exciting race here. Under the lights, perfect night skyline, and no rain, which is the most important part.
Well, never say never around Singapore. The weather does come and go. A few rainy races in the past few seasons, especially here at RDL, which has put up some crazy races. I'll take you back to, I think even season 10, I think it was. It was a very, very long time ago, I do have to say. But it was this race where I was on the slick tyres and everyone else was on the intermediate tyres. We were posting the same lap times. This track is crazy for strategy, especially when the weather comes. So I would like to see a little bit later on, but yeah, it looks to be dry from where we're sitting. So yeah, will no doubt still be entertaining as per usual.
Always good to see it. Of course, we have 15 rounds so far of non-stop action, and hopefully we can see that tonight. Of course, your Drivers' Championship, Fan leads Sniper by 27 points. Webbsy back in 3rd, BJ in 4th. Those guys racing for the last spot on the podium. But Sniper starts dead last after being disqualified in qualifying, and Fan starts in 4th. So big gap between those two. That's another 12 points. That lead, as it stands, now sits at 39 points in the live standings. So the championship slipping out of Ratio's hands. Sorry, I keep calling him Ratio because that's silly gamer tag. And yeah, Sniper's got work to do tonight. He's got to get himself back up the order as Nicholas leads his way on the formation lap. There's your starting tyres, and it's looking like mediums and hards for the majority of drivers, but Paris there on the C5 tyres, he's on the soft start.
Yeah, Paris, I am very good friends with Paris. Both. We obviously met at RDL, but I've met them outside of the racing sphere, and a lovely guy. And he's always told me about having soft tyres. He loves starting on the soft tyres. Tinky Winky, who used to race here in the RDL, it's the exact same. These drivers benefit from a soft set of rubber, and then obviously around there, safety car is probably going to happen 100%. If he has an early safety car, Paris is right in for a good strategy call. So we'll have to see how it ends up for him, but it's lovely just to see Paris back on the grid.
To this point, I have to tell you that I got a message from JB in the intermission, and Paris apparently has been told to close the car at lap 1 and retire it. I'm not sure what's going on. I've forgotten the reason, if there was a reason why, based off of last week's affairs, but we could be seeing it off at the end of the first lap. So we'll have to wait and see there. Sorry, Pope.
Heartbroken.
As we take the last few spots on the grid here. Several debutants, a returning driver, and a championship battle that could go all the way to the checker flag here. 5 lights, under the lights here in Singapore. It's lights out, kick the fires, and light the tires. Nicholas had a terrible getaway there. He's completely missed it on the start. Everyone's avoided him fantastically there. Grumio in the lead at turn number 1. What has gone on with the pole sitter? Down 17 places at turn 1. Terrible getaway for him. Completely lost focus, I assume, there. Grumio over the lead, Fan now second. Grovey taking 3rd place away from BJ and Imri here. Fantastic start for the debutant of the Red Bulls. They come through turn number 4. Imri and BJ side by side. Ethan and Websy behind him.
Yeah, this has been an absolute crazy start. Obviously, Nicholas having a horrendous start. Now at the bottom of the grid. Maybe even lagged out the session, I'm not too sure, but it's not looking good. Grumio needs to just bolt away now. This is what Grumio wanted, I'm sure, from this. But yeah, Grovey, who has done so well, she has done fantastic to put it up from P6 to P3, gaining 3 positions. Well done to her.
Took full advantage of the poor getaway from Nicholas there. Not sure what happened to him on the start, but perhaps just didn't realise the lights had gone. It's a big spin in the back, and that is several cars involved. It looks like JB has had a hit, and I see, oh, a sniper who's lost his wing there. And I think, and Dan around, I think, as well. So those 3 all involved. Virtual safety car has been deployed. And a terrible start here from our former championship leader. He's taking another punt there from Dan going through. Not sure what happened there. The 3 cars all sort of collected each other. Pope, did you see that?
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened with the first incident, but that second one there looked like Dan just kind of misbraked and hit the back of Sniper there. It's not a great start for them. The good thing is there is a virtual safety car. It means obviously we're all reduced to a delta. Obviously no actual safety car, but we're still hitting safety car speed. So these guys will have to pit, no doubt. They've got broken wigs and stuff like that.
Oh,
it's on safety car. So Grovey's in. Maybe needed a front wing change as well, or going for a strategy call. I'm not too sure.
Just change the tyres.
In on the medium.
Harris is coming
Harris
into it. He's putting the car into the car at the end of this first lap. So being props to him for avoiding the chaos. Yes, there is. First Atari of the night, several cars in to change tyres and repair damage. Of course, I don't think JB actually received any damage, but at least nothing visual from what I saw. But he's making a wing change. There was no lack of end plate on that Ferrari when I saw it. But both cars now away there. Dan, Sniper, and JB all going back out into the racetrack again. As the green flag comes back out, Grumio leads Fan, and BJ is now 4.5 seconds back from these 2. What's happened to him on the Delta?
I'm not too sure there. It's not great. Maybe some tactics between Mercedes teams of make that delta as big as you possibly can for me. That could have happened. I'm not too sure, but tactics always will be played here in Formula 1. Obviously, those who have already made a pit stop is from Grovey downwards, Grovey. So obviously trying to make the most out of that virtual safety car, but maybe a little bit too early. It's 31 laps. They will have to make another pit stop, no doubt.
Definitely. Even those hard tyre runs, or I said hard tyre runs, just Imri who made the change onto those tyres. Because Imri, unfortunately, also fall down the field as well. Nicholas Mayer, the pollster, to get himself back up the order. He's back up to P12 already thanks to those stops. He's just taking Courtney Goblin there in the race for that top spot. We'll start closing on our returnee, Slazenger Volvo, who is running in P11 right now. Just outside the point, as Grumio sets the fastest lap, 1 minute 38.5, and Fan is 2 seconds back. So Grumio getting right to work here, wasting no time in pulling out an advantage. He's got the lead and he's pulling away.
Oh, Ethan, spinning, tiring. Start finish straight. Nicholas taking things. That's another virtual safety car. For me, that would have to be a full safety car. He's lost the car completely on the start finish straight. And is that Grovey coming back into the pits as well?
What's going on with the Red Bull here? Not been a good start.
I'm not too sure.
Let's see what the plan is.
Oh, and it looks like front wing change. Maybe some damage, some damage on that front wing. Shame, because you've only just made that pit stop. You're now going to be back with everyone else. That's not what you wanted, really, in that situation. So she'll probably be hitting the steering wheel in frustration there. But unlucky for Ethan, who just lost the tyres and just spun it into the pit wall, which is just such a shame, really.
Definitely. Of course, if this allows Grumio from building his lead back up, he's got to slow back down for the Delta because he was 3.7 in front for a moment there. So he's got to really back up for that to allow fans close back in once more. BJ, I think, doing the same thing here that he was doing last time round. And this is team play for Mercedes. It's absolutely fantastic team play because it's making sure that Fan is secure there in second place, giving him just a bit more breathing room to try and focus on chasing down Grumio, who's got the wide open racetrack there in front of him here on lap number 3. of this Grand Prix. So Celtic start here, but the green flag comes back out. DRS to pull over the first time today, and Webbs will be right to work in trying to work on taking BJ. As Che, of course, second race back full time, battling the Lycon here for the 7th spot. The AlphaTauri and Haas going at it into new section on the circuit. Nothing but full throttle on the way down. They're side by side, wheel to wheel, going into the next chicane. Who's the last one on the brakes? It looks like Lycon was last to brake. He's there alongside Che. No contact, but the Haas car gets in front. Ooh, Lycon loose off into the wall there. I'm not sure if he picked up damage from that. I think the wing looks okay, so he's lucky to get. Might be a bit of damage on the end plate perhaps. So I think he's okay to get away with it for the minute. I think it'll carry on as Lucky Lambert now advances on him, trying to take away P8 from the AlphaTauri. But Che gets away with it, and they're now 2.2 seconds back from Curtis in 6th place. Curtis, trying to come back, he could hit the 100-point mark tonight if he scores. If he finishes 9th or higher.
Yeah, Lycon, I think, got lucky with hitting the sidewall on the wall rather than the end plate. So, still looking good on that front wing situation. But yeah, Che, who has made up heat position so far, obviously not been able to qualify. For whatever reason, I'm not too sure, but he's doing very well, and we all know that Che's got the pace to fight with the top, so we could definitely see him even reach the podium at this rate.
As far as I'm aware, I believe Che had a quali ban. I think he came out at the start, but then perhaps a confirmed setup, but then came back into the pit lane again under Parc Fermé regulations from that first qualifying lap. So, but yeah, up 8 spots here. So one of the biggest, I think one of the biggest gainers so far. The driver's getting the most spots being Slicer Volvo, who's up 9 spots. And Lucky's trying to gain a 10th. We can try and take Lucky Lambert or Lycon here. Those two will be going after here on the run in towards his next right-hander. But Lucky not getting close enough to the AlphaTauri in front. Little 4-car train here. Nicholas Mayer joining the back of these guys. The pole sitter on the move once again, trying to close back up to the lead. He's got quite a gap to work back though, folks. As of right now, he sits 14.8 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, it's a lot of time to clutch up, especially when you see Grumio setting fastest laps of a 1:32.4. It's a fantastic lap time. That is like 1 second off people's qualifying pace, which is just ridiculous as we see Lucky head into the pits, maybe due to some damage, but that's going to open it up a little bit more now for Slosinger, who's done very well, like say, to gain 10 places right now. The biggest gainer with obviously Nicholas right behind. I can't wait to see these two battle. That'll be a very interesting fight.
Definitely looking forward to seeing these two take each other on over the next couple of laps or so, once they get a bit closer with the DRS. And Lycon, these two breathing down his neck. Here comes Slicer closing in. Might go to the inside. They're going to clutch the rumble out the pocket, pull down to the left-hand side of the racetrack, go into the braking zone. He's a whole car in front and gets away with it to take away P8. That's 10 places for him here. Sorry, that's 11, sorry. Yeah, that's 11, thanks to Lucky coming into the pit lane. But still, great start from so far on his return to the on the RDL. And he's closing, or starting to close now, on Che Oliver in 7th place.
Yeah, Slasher does absolutely fantastic so far during this race. Obviously, Emery having to pit, so really struggling again. Someone who's got so much pace, it's just such a shame, and obviously picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. But like we say, there's so long left in this race, so long. Definitely, everyone's still got a chance, and we've already had 2 virtual safety cars. I think we are definitely due a normal safety car at some point during this race.
A long way still to go, but I see Webbs here in P4 trying to take BJ, fighting for the last lap of the race here. He's really going for it against Mercedes. Took him a minute to close in, but now he's right there behind the Silver Arrow. So BJ a bit wide into the last 2 corners. So Webbs is going to close in. Might go for it. Turn 1 here. Keep an eye on him. He's going to the inside into this first corner. He's alongside the Mercedes. Doesn't give him a lot of room there. Forces BJ off onto the rumble strips at turn 2. No contact. Very close. And it
well, Curtis tried to get between both of them there. That would have been a very sneaky move between for Curtis, having to back out due to a little bit of contact there. But obviously Websy ahead. Sorry, I just had to interrupt with that. That was a fantastic little idea by Curtis.
Oh, BJ! What happened there? And Websy off the circuit and almost into the wall there. What on earth has happened? I thought I had a bit of lag for a moment there because BJ almost looked like he was going straight into the side of Websy's car. I see Webbs got off the circuit. Was there contact there, Pope? Did I see that right?
Yes, there was. I think there was definitely contact there. I'm not too sure if it was lag induced or what, but no, definitely contact. And PJ, who's done fantastic here, just picking up the little struggles of this fight up into P5. Great start.
He was sitting there in P3 until Webbs took him on a moment ago. Now Curtis is in that spot. He's doing a fantastic job in the Alfa Romeo. Of course, it's been a while since we've seen him up the top of the order since the start of the season when he was dominating with TJ in the Alfa Romeo, because those guys had a fantastic start to season 15. But they've sort of dropped off in form since then, still third in the constructor standings. And with the help of Nicholas Mayer, they're closing back in on Alpine. And given how things are going right now with one of their cars down the order, again, Sniper now in P13 after that issue on the first lap, and quite a way off of Shane in P12. But anything could happen, Pope. And as you say, if we get that full safety car at some stage, then everyone will close up and we'll just have a real race on our hands.
Yeah, all the field, like, it's just the select train that we're following now are mainly on the hard tyres, but everyone else on the medium, so I think we found the favourite tyre of the drivers this evening, so it'll be interesting to see what the strategies play out for, but we're only 7 laps into this race and so much action's happened that we see Dan picking up a 3-second time penalty.
The second drivers get a penalty tonight, the other one being Imri, who has 3 seconds. I think we saw Paris actually get a penalty for speeding in the pits, but he was due to come into the pits regardless, so I wasn't really too bothered about that. This train here continuing to fight each other here. PJ Khaled now up in the 5th spot. Of course, he runs 5th in the Drivers' Championship. If he can try and close on BJ, he'd love to try and nick a few points with the Dutchman here if he can, by taking him at some point in this Grand Prix. Sits right behind his closest competitor in the championship, but with Grumio just 1 point behind him, so chances are he may end the day in 6th place, maybe even 7th if Curtis can stay where he is. So it's very close for P5 right now, but I think Grumio will definitely run away with it. Now, Dan out the race. Contact.
Dan is out the race, and there's the full safety car, as I definitely predicted. It's such a shame for Dan. I was just actually riding on board because he did pick up another 3-second time penalty. Just hit the curb, lost the car, got buried into that wall. It's such a shame for Dan. And the Red Bull team, who I think we're expecting really good recovery race here for them, because Dan obviously made a return back to the Red Bull team last race at Monza, and then obviously Grovey making her debut with us here today. So I think they were looking for a bit of new driver balance, but it's just not looked well for them. So it's such a shame for Dan as we see Grumio head into the pits, making their first pit stop.
And Fan join him as well. We'll see a number of those medium tyre runners all coming in. Like the hard tyre guys, a bit too early for them. No, BJ's coming into it. BJ coming into the pits. He's committed to it now. He's got to stay on the he's got to stay off the racetrack. Websy staying out though, because we've seen Websy do this a few times this season. Of course, there's always one who stays out on the racetrack, as it'll take the lead away from Grumio, who emerges on hard tyres. Fan out there behind him, and that'll give these guys an opportunity to try and close up to Grumio, because Fan's been following in his wake by about a second or two the entire race so far. Curtis onto mediums, BJ on mediums, PJ, Che, Slasinger all on mediums, Nicholas on softs here, so a different call from the Alfa Romeo team to try and get him perhaps up the order on the restart. Of course, Curtis up there in P4 doing a great job right now. Was on the podium until that happened, and Websy electing to stay out on the racetrack as he joins up behind the Aston Martin safety car. But changes, Pope. There's a number of different strategies in play right now, especially those soft tyres now in play too.
Yes, as always, I like to make mention to the strategies in particular, because that's where my first head. I'm a driver, definitely, more than a commentator at heart. But for me, I've already looked at these strategies and I'm thinking, first, Nicholas, I get why he's gone on softs, but that's really depending on another safety car. And we've used two of the virtuals. We've got one of the regular ones. I'm not too sure you'll get that safety car in a perfect time. That might be a very bold strategy. I'd love to get proven wrong with this stuff, but I don't know. That's not what I'd go for personally. I'd do what Grumio and Fan did. Go on those hard tyres and just stick out at the end of the race. And then if you can save your tyres, go to a pair of softs at the end. Or if in doubt, you have to go on to the medium spot. Nonetheless, you'd rather go on them at the end of the race, getting the fastest lap as well, rather than doing it in mid-race. But that's just how I drive.
And remember, this is the fresh air that Nicholas saved in qualifying to, of course, go out and do this. But of course, he still shoved it on pole regardless. So he's going to be burning through this set of tyres and won't have them should we get a late safety car restart, if we even get another safety car. Because you are right, we have burned through the first few quite early, and we're only 8 laps into this thing, so we've still got a long way to go. We've still got over 20 laps to be running this thing, so plenty of time for things to change. It's a long race still to come. Websy though, of course, staying out. What's the call there? What do you do from there, Pope?
A couple of technical issues.
His controller died out again. Brewer is out of batteries as it stands. We're just waiting for the field to join back up now for the restart. Grovey back there in P17 with the last cars jump in the back of the order. She's got work to do here to try and get herself back through the field to try and get a point scoring finish on debut. Of course, we've seen it a few times already this season. Nicholas May, of course, finishing fantastically in his first few races, including the win last week at Monza, but things haven't gone his way so far. Let's wait out to see how things go later on in the race. Pope back with us. Can you hear again? Nothing yet. Technical difficulties for Touchby Pope, our other commentator in the booth here. We're on lap 9 now. And we're just waiting now. 2 drivers have yet to make their... Sorry, just 1 driver to make his first. That is Websy, who stays out. He's in the race lead right now. Doing a brilliant job, but how will he maintain this on the restart? We've lost Pope for a minute. Let's see if he comes back. Hopefully have him back with us in a moment. But we don't be 2 weeks in a row where things have gone wrong for us. Oh, are you there? You there with us?
Hello,
There we go.
hello.
Yes, Pope is back.
Yeah, I don't really. It's my mic. It's Turtle Beach. It's not really good.
I've got a Turtle Beach mic. I'm doing it. Actually, no, I have Turtle Beach headphones. This is an old Xbox mic. I'm using my Blue Sniper.
Yeah,
It's
no.
really good for PC.
Fair enough. Nah, it's not great. And what I do want to make mention to is what you said about Nicholas going back a few conversations about saving a set of soft tyres for the end of the race. That's what I would have done. Nicholas is in such a good position to make the most out of fresh tyres at the end where no other driver has. And in those last few laps, every percent matters. For me, Nicholas has to go through cars which are battling. They're all very on pace today. We've seen that with the large train of these drivers. As we see Nicholas going into the pits, maybe watching the live stream here.
Oh.
For me, you have to do that. These guys will be squabbling and you're just going to be held back. You might make a few moves, but you won't be able to pass them all at once. Those tyres would get shredded up as we see Nicholas going into hards now. Haha, very smart. Nicholas will try and take those set of hards to the end of the race, maybe just using those soft tyres to hit your boundary, maybe. Not too sure, but that is very, very smart by Nicholas. Either trying to go onto the same strategy as everyone else, because Nicholas is, by qualifying options, the fastest driver on the grid right now. Obviously, in the race, it looks to be Grumio, but in qualifying, it was Nicholas, so he's clearly got a pace, so you'll be able to make the moves on those hard tyres. 21 laps on those tyres is going to be very, very hard, but I'm all here for it.
See Grover back into the pits as well. She's had 4 stops already in these first 10 laps. I mean, I'm not sure if anyone's ever seen anyone from 4 stops come back to try and score points. Of course, no pressure to be put on anyone's shoulders, especially in the first race in the league, but if she can pull that off, I'll be quite impressed by that.
Yeah, no, the first stop I'm not too sure on a decision. We'll definitely have to ask about that later on, but I think 4 stops, she's still here, she's still with the rest of the grid, so she's obviously not in the position she probably wanted. I mean, height of P3 at the start of the race, so definitely will be aiming to head back up those positions, but not too sure. 4 stops, that's a lot of pit stops, that.
Still in with a chance. I mean, you never know. Anything could happen in the last 21 laps of this race. Safety car in this, like the Aston Martin safety car, now pulling away. So Websy will lead Grumio on this restart. So will Grumio try and get right to work? Or will the record champion try and put Websy in his mirrors quickly as he can? Or will Websy find the opportunity to try and get away on the start? Because he'll want to try and establish an early lead. But with this new section of circuit, when do you go? It's about the same as it was last year, Pope?
I'm going to say yeah, probably. I mean, everyone goes really differently. I like a late restart. I like a very, very late restart. Obviously, try to get everyone off guard. But Websy is one now. That's probably where I would have gone, and I think that's where it used to happen. So very well. But Websy hit a curb on the inside, slowing him down a little bit, but still made a good inroad on getting a little bit of time on Grumio.
Back underway here on lap number 11. I see PJ getting right to work on Imri, trying to make moves early on. PJ Carroll and Chase side by side from the race for the 7th spot. The Haas gets in front. There goes Slash and Joseph up the inside of PJ, side by side. We run towards turn 4. Into the right handle they go. The Aston Martin nipping in front of the McLaren there. Fantastic moves. There goes Grumio for the lead on the right hand side, going into the next left hander. And the record champion is in the lead at turn 5. As Kurt's up the inside, looking from fan 2. Fan says line, sorry, Pope.
No, it's fine. Yeah, no, not surprised there by Grumio trying to make the most of the pace of Websy, which will be deteriorating compared to the rest of the grid. Want to get a gap built now, and I think he's already got a bigger gap than he did have before the safety car restart on Fans. So Fans got a lot of work to do now, especially trying to get past Websy.
See Chain starting to make moves here now in P6 and P7. Imri and PJ have both been passed already in this first half lap or so. Everyone keeps it nice and clean here. Grovey around both Ferraris. Of course, keep an eye on particularly on the debutant in tonight's race. 4 stops already. Can she try and pull it back? And race Sniper on Tanti, sorry, right there in front of her. Can she try and take on the championship leader or former championship leader on debut? Might have to happen. That's a wait and see. But can Sniper pick himself up and carry on charging to the field?
Yeah, Sniper really has to make this race count. You have to score at least some points, because a race with no more points, that for me is ruled out of the championship. The confidence would be knocked dramatically, but he's got the pace. He knows he's got the pace. We know he's got the pace, so let's see what he can do as he tries to make a move on Cotty down the inside, as Cotty picks up that 3-second time penalty.
Sniper goes through, no issue,
yeah. See JB in the pits, having to make another pit stop because lost the front wing again. It's not looking good for a Ferrari, who did very well last race with the pace of the car. It's just not going well today with the look of the car.
Sometimes you get races like that, it's best to try and pick stuff up afterwards and move on from set of races. I see Imri and PJ going at it in the run side by side. I see Websy and Curtis going for P2 here. Curtis at the inside takes away the second spot. 3 seconds to Grumio in front. The more these guys squabble, the more time Fan loses and the more Grumio can pull away.
Yeah, this is a classic Grumio race here. I told you he'd be one to just pull away here at Singapore. It's probably his best circuit, and he's doing that now. For nearly 3.5 seconds ahead of what? Sorry, I had to interrupt myself there. Shane with a fantastic move on the outside of Fan there, showing what he's all about back here in the RDL as a full-time driver. That was a beautiful move on the outside of turn 13.
He's not done yet though. Might try and take BJ as well. He went for a move from Websy but couldn't quite pull it off. The Dutchman's going to try and close back in again if he can, but not getting anywhere with it. So Che will have his work cut out from again here. Close to contact. A slicing German Fan goes side by side behind them for P6 in the chicane. Off the corners they come through towards turn 18 and 19. Slicing German in front of Fan. The championship leader dropping back here. So Ratio, damn it, Sniper needs to get himself back up the order in order to carry on and try and get some points in this race, because Fan is not too far away from him right now. And Grubby's got around him too.
That has just been absolutely ridiculous, that the squabbling up top, and then obviously Grubby making a move on the former Champions League leader. She is really going to play, making a move on Shane now. The 4th pit stop might have kicked him into gears. A little bit of contact there, keeps control of the car. That was close to a race-ending crash there, but they kept the car pointing straight. Did a very good job there.
Sniper to the outside, looking for P12 back off the debutant, who holds on to the position. Fantastic stuff. Grovey 2 places away from the points here. That 4th pit stop, as you say, Pope, could put her back in position. As Che falling back here, he's losing place. He's down 3 spots here. What's just happened to him? Slicing now P4 and chasing Websy for 3rd.
This safety car restart has absolutely shaken up this race so far. It's been absolutely chaos. It's been brilliant to watch. Pepsi still in pre-fury on those 12-lap-old tyres, but he's gonna look him to Slazenger behind, who's making a move into like lovely defence there as best as he can do, leaving just enough space. And Slazenger, returning driver, who's done fantastic. Can we just say has made up 60 positions so far? What a race!
Been absolutely fantastic on his return to the RDL. This is the first time I'm seeing him drive. Obviously, you've seen him drive before, but this is the first time I'm seeing it. It's absolutely fantastic to watch it. As Websy will have DRS to try and defend from the championship leader, who pulls to the left-hand side of the racetrack, going towards turn number 1. Once again, we're on lap number 14 here. Found the inside. Websy gives him the room through turns 2 and 3. Fans still underneath him, and BJ looking to back on his teammate behind. Che looking to get involved as well. Imri 2 seconds back, defending from PJ in the race for P8. There's a big train gathering behind them. Never mind, a trolley train. Grovey with the penalty there. 3 seconds and 1 place off the points though. Nicholas now back in the points paying positions, and will get to work on chasing PJ and Imri, who are going at it. PJ to the outside into turn number 6. Into the corner they go, side by side. Imri doesn't quite leave the room there. Slightly forcing PJ off the racetrack as Che and Websy go at it back further up front. It's all going on, Pope. It's hard to keep track of at this stage. I'm losing my voice.
Yeah, I'm losing my voice too. My throat is getting rather dry. It shows how long this race is and how much it's going on. But for races like this, just give me the itch to get back in that driver's seat. It's fantastic to watch. It's just entertaining, complete entertainment. As we see cars, brains all less within a second, especially around the circuit. It's just crazy to witness.
I'd argue you're as entertaining in the comments box as you're on the track vote, but that's just my definitely unbiased opinion. As we continue to watch the battle here, Shane and Sniper going at it side by side. Shane gets in front. Sniper is dropping back here. He's down to P14. And our former championship leader, he's struggling, Pope. What has been happening to him? The drop of form continuing as he's down the order there. And it looks like the championship is slipping out of his hands with Fan in P4.
For me, it has to be confidence, complete confidence, because he has the pace. We know he has the pace. In time trial, he has the pace. In qualifying, sometimes puts the car up there. Obviously, he used to put it up there all the time. That's dropped off as well. It has to be confidence. It's such a shame for Sniper.
Definitely. I mean, I hope he can get it back. Because there's still plenty of time in the season left to go. I mean, if I have a look at the calendar just quickly while as Grimo continues to lead.
I think we're still 9 races.
If I have a look here just before things carry on, so it's Singapore today. So it goes from round 16 to 7 to. So we've got 7 rounds after this one. So still plenty of time for things to change. But if things keep going how they're going, then it won't be looking good for ratio. I keep on Sniper. I need to stay Sniper because I'm still looking at that name on the leaderboard and getting myself confused. It keeps happening.
Oh, for me, it says Sniper, so we've got a different viewing for there. So very bizarre that, but it's an EA game. Are we surprised? Looking at Che eyeing up BJ in the Mercedes. Obviously, Che driving for Mercedes last season. So it's a ghost of the past for the Mercedes team. As Che, I did. Not a very good season for myself, but I did race there.
I just wanted to remind you. I'm evil. But you know, you're on Monaco, so that's all good.
Exactly, that's what matters.
Seeing the fight continue here. Imri holding off PJ and Groby P9 as it stands. And this train that was here earlier is sort of open up a bit more, Pope, now. Grimo with 5.4 to good over Curtis, and then Slash in third, 2.3 seconds back. Another 2 back to Fan. BJ and Chase are going at it. Yellow flag, and that's Shane! Shane crashing it, and that's the safety car.
Full safety car, the Haas team struggling there. That's going to be such a shame for them. Shane, who did so well, a little bit of contact there between Che and BJ under the Delta. And
It's the penalty.
It's the penalty for that. Yeah, just a bit of contact there while they were slowing down for the Delta. But such a shame for Shane, who the last race was so quick, and obviously had the connection issues that put them out of the race. And then this today is not great. And Imri, drive-through penalty. Imri, it's such a shame because Imri's so quick, and it's just little things like this that just add on, which drags them down the order. It's such a shame for them.
I can't imagine the frustration in the AlphaTauri for Imri right now. AlphaTauri sitting in P9 and P12 as it stands. No idea. I mean, obviously we can't see the Delta. That's the thing, because I mean, obviously you've played this game before. You've seen how the Delta can suddenly just turn itself off, and if you're below at that point, then it's a penalty for you, which is I don't think one of the silliest things I've ever seen. I wonder if it's controlled by AI just to wind up drivers, but you know, there's always that. But Grimo's lead now cut down from 6 seconds to nothing. And let's see if strategy comes back into play here, because of course we're getting to the point where those medium runners will start thinking about that second pit stop.
If I was a medium runner and I'd probably put onto a set of hards, I'd do medium even hard. That would be probably the best strategy so far. But I think Grumo's still in this. I still think all the hard runners are in a very comfortable position. I think for Websy now, you've taught those hard tyres 15 laps. You could easily take mediums 14, no doubt. Losing my voice.
There'll be a few more laps as well, given that we're on the safety car for a bit. Grumio into the pit lane, Curtis following him. Fan stays out on the racetrack. Grumio onto mediums, Curtis probably looking at mediums too. And Fan with a drive-through for speeding under the safety car.
That is a shame for Fan, the championship leader who didn't score any points last race. Got a drive-through penalty now. Everyone's going to be bunched up. That will take them down to the back of the grid.
And that'll be music to the ears of Sniper, who if he's not scoring, please see his championship rival not scoring either. Medium tyres go on that Alpine, as the other Alpine will be showing the way once again. And Courtney Goblin also stayed out here on old medium tyres. So a shock appearance from the other Williams here at the top of the order. So we'll see what he can do on the restart. Of course, he's got a penalty to think about as well. Curtis should reclaim second, but we want to get around that Williams quickly. And Slazer will no doubt reclaim it third as well. So more or less everyone in the pit lane here go on to either fresh or more or less fresh tyres. Because see a few guys who of course went out mediums earlier. Imri, on 1 lap old mediums, Grovey on 2 lap old hards, Lucky on 1 lap old mediums. But for the most part, fresh tyres for everyone who came into the pits.
Yeah, it's. I mean, for Websy, someone who's going to really benefit from this is Websy in the actual drivers' standings. Websy and BJ really as well, both of them could climb their way back up into a championship fight. The top two are not scoring consistently. These two are maybe, just maybe, these guys are in for a fight.
Can we see 2 dark horses come into play in the final 7 rounds of the season? Anything could still happen. I mean, this is the, let's face it, folks, this is the RDL you've been in for. It normally does.
Yeah, no, it all it does. Everything just kind of shakes up and you won't even know it. It's brilliant. I love it. That's why it's the league I spent the most amount of time in, the most amount of races in. It's RDL, and yeah, I've experienced many seasons where things shake up dramatically.
When was your first season played for them?
Ooh, season 7.
Wow.
I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was. I actually made my debut in Belgium in the Ferrari.
Would that have been F1
And it was
2019?
2019.
Wow.
Because I was in the Williams, and it was in season 8 where I actually did very well. It's kind of where I started getting a lot better at the game, and I was called Rocket Man. So there you have it.
Elton John fan by chance?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was the Rocket livery, wasn't it? So.
Ah. Oh, right. Oh, okay. No, I thought worth a minute about that. Was that your gamer tag at the time, or was that like?
No, my gamer tag at the time was probably Touch Me Pope still.
How did you come up with that name? Can I ask?
I don't think I can say it on stream.
Okay, alright, no worries. I'll ask you.
I don't want to get anyone demonetized.
I'm not monetized to begin with, man. It's who you want.
Oh, fair enough, right? Okay.
No. In the beginning, no, I'm joking.
No.
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
We haven't got enough time.
This is what I love. This is what I love. Everyone now making their pit stops onto the tyres. Everyone on fresh tyres apart from Fan, and the rest, and obviously BJ in P15, who looks like have an incident, no doubt, because he hasn't pitted. I don't think so. Seeing him down at the back, bit unsure of what's happened there, but obviously we have a bit of time to cool down, time to reset the race a little bit. Obviously we'll have 1 more lap of the safety car after this, so we can still have our obviously safety car chit chats, which I do love, I do have to say.
On point, once again, Grovey making a 5th stop, and she's still in the points despite that penalty. I mean, so I mean, could this happen? Could she take 5 stops and score points on debut? I know we're discussing it a lot tonight, but it's fantastic stuff to see a debut for any driver, and it's always exciting for us in the comms box when it goes well.
Yeah, no, debuts are just fantastic to obviously see. So, and obviously making 5 pit stops, she's really made a name for herself already here, probably for the most pit stops in a race this season. But I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed of what she's showing us here.
Taking the pit stops, in comes Courtney Goblin from P2, making a 2nd stop at the Grand Prix. Perhaps looking now another set of mediums or perhaps even a set of soft tyres. Do you reckon you can take softs to the end, or is that too much?
I definitely think you can take. Actually, softs to the end would not work. I think mediums to the end, yes. Hard to the end, most definitely. Softs just a little bit too far.
Well, in that case, then Colin's made the right choice. Then, so fresh mediums and a wing change. He's got the freshest tyres in the field here. We'll be sitting back down in P15 as BJ comes back into the pit lane. 1 lap old mediums on that car. So we'll see those two try and charge back into the field, try and score some late points in the closing laps here. We've got 12 laps to go in this thing, so we are nearing the end of the race, both. Anything can still happen, but Grimio looks to be the favourite, unless Curtis can try and get him on the restart.
Yeah, no, I think Grumio is definitely looking like a favourite. He drove fantastically, and I'm not surprised by it at all. Just going back to a conversation a bit earlier on in this race about my season 12. I'm just going through the actual driver standings, and it was a battle between me and Landlord for a bit. I dropped to a low of P3, and that was after the Italian Grand Prix. So the mid part of the season wasn't the strongest for me, but however, I did score a Monaco race victory and held it by 1 minute and 20 seconds was the gap. I lapped everyone in the field by P2.
Was this season 12? Sorry.
That was season. Oh, sorry, season 11.
Okay, yeah.
My
I was going to
championship.
say I didn't because
Yeah,
Landlord won
yeah.
season 12 Monaco. Remember I was here for some reason. You can't lie to me, Hope. Can't lie to me.
Yeah, so yeah. Sorry, season 11, yeah. 1 minute and 20 seconds the gap was between me and BJ, it was.
Where was he going to send it? Anyway, right, so that is our return to Pope's title win season of season 11. And we're going back to racing. Aston Martin safety car getting away. And another Aston Martin not too far behind there in P4. Could Sargent take a podium on return? He's got a chance, given that fan we have to come into pits in lap time for that drive-through. It looks like the race will be mostly over for him in terms of scoring points short of another safety car. It could be a struggle as it is. But Sniper now has a chance to get himself back in the points to try and close that gap a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, Sniper has probably benefited from this more than most other drivers, who is really not the strongest of his races. But here we are, full race going now. Fan taking us over the line. Grumio already moving to the inside a little bit just to show that Alpine in the mirror as a fan. So we'll see when Grumio makes up this move, but you can just see the tyre difference. It's just dramatic.
Thinking about it already, the record champion has made several moves around the racetrack, just letting the fan know that he's there, he's around. Practically shoving the Mercedes there through turn number 5 as they go towards 6 and now 7. Grumio closing all the time on Fan, but Fan's going to force him the long way around the outside, going into the braking zone. Grumio in the lead now once again, and Curtis is going to try and get Fan quick and always try and keep with the Alpine. Now he goes up the inside into the right-hander, very tight between them, no contact. Schlesinger looking to get involved too if he can, try to pick up the scraps, anything that could to go down. Grumio with a second advantage to his name already. Oh, Curtis off into the wall there. He got tagged by Fan. Schlesinger going for 2 at once into second place. And now 2 fresh medium tyre cars. Both drivers have fantastic pace here, going at it in the late stages of this Grand Prix as Curtis down to 4th.
Yeah, Schlesinger make a fantastic move. Remember, all these points matter.
Websy off the circuit.
This evening. Such a shame for
Sniper
Websy.
as well, no wing on that Alpine. VSC is deployed.
What the? This race has just been completely crazy. It's been absolutely mental. As you see that Alpine's wing, it's not even completely off. It's shattered on both sides. That is a horrible sight. And the same for Websy as well, who both of those drivers will have to come into their pits. Obviously, Fan as well, who cannot serve their drive-through on the safety car or virtual safety car.
No.
So we'll have to wait again now to serve that, which is just not great for them.
He's trying to serve his, I'm not sure if he knows that.
Not able to serve these penalties.
Wait, is the AlphaTauri crew waiting for him? Or
AlphaTauri crew are waiting for him.
oh no!
So, shame for these drivers, especially Ibri.
Perhaps this is a scheduled stop, but he's going to soft tyres and he's going onto soft tyres and a wing change as well. And I think he's trying to serve it, Pope. I'm not sure.
Maybe not actually. If it's a wing change, maybe it's more of let's go and just blast 10 laps on these softs. But 10 laps on softs around this circuit, I think that might be pushing it just a little bit too far as well. So obviously back to green flag racing now. I want to see where Schlesinger can finish this race. Obviously looking on the podium right now with the Alfa Romeo team scoring some heavy points.
I'm sorry, but he's closing the gap to Grumio.
He is closing on Grumio.
Can we get a race here, Pope? Is there a chance of that in these late stages?
I mean, I'd love to see, obviously, Grumio have the advantage on the ARS system and is going to probably use that now to gain a little bit of Schlesinger. But like I said, I've been racing Schlesinger since 2020. I know how fast he is. He's a very, very, very quick driver. So never say never.
Again, look at this. Nicholas is back as well. The pole sitter, after awful getaway at the start of the race, 20 laps later, he's now back there battling for the podium places. And Fan about to come in, and Grovey behind him. So could she be on for a points pit? Oh, contact! Che and Lycon make contact. Into the chicane. Che has been completely taken. DRS is deployed. Schlesinger now there with the fastest lap. A 8/10 back from Grumio. We have a race here, but those two coming together at perhaps the worst time in this Grand Prix, Pope, and now both down the order.
Yeah, both going to have to peel into the pits as well. There's been a lot of collisions this race. It's a very hard track to pass on. The walls are so narrow. It does remind me of Monaco. And if you didn't know, I did win Monaco this season. PJ looking to make a move as well. Sniper makes a move on PJ as PJ just losing his position now on these 7-lap old medium tyres. And looking down there, but someone who's really benefited well is JB. JB in P6.
Maybe out of nowhere, maybe
P7.
P7 now as BJ takes him, but it wasn't over yet for the Ferrari. We won't jinx him because we've done that in the past. Snipe back on the racetrack here, fresh softs. He's all over Krebsy in the race for P10, the last point on offer. Fans said this drive-through, and he's now on 14 lap old hards and in P9, so some points on off, but could Sniper catch him for the end here? We have a late fight on our hands for that first points paying place, which could be crucial coming into the season. And meanwhile, Slazenger is on the hunt here, on our record champion on his return to the RDL.
Yeah, he's got DRS as well. DRS is now active, so we'll have DRS on this main straight. I wouldn't make a move on the start finish straight, but the second DRS zone, definitely that's the best place to make a move around the circuit. So we'll see if he'll be close enough. I'm not too sure, but like I said, Grumio is a record champion, and he's that for a reason. He's a very, very race smart driver. So we'll have to see if Nicholas now sets the fastest lap, 1:31.0. Definitely will be in the hunt nearing the end of this race as well.
Could we see a three-way fight for the checkered flag here? Because Nicholas, I do want to point out, is ever so slightly. He's closing the gap too. He's only 2 seconds back, and he's just set the fastest lap there, as you say, Pope. So he's on his way towards the leaders. So this could be a three-way fight for the race victory here, with Curtis in P4 and Grovey, despite that penalty, in P5, and look to hold on to that with BJ 8 seconds back.
Yeah, that'd be a great set of points scores for not just her, but the Red Bull team as well. At the end of the day, it's your debut. You want to make sure you look good in the race car, but you also want to impress the team as well.
Definitely, but it's all still to play for. She's got to carry on and hold this one out until the end. And speaking of hold it out to the end, Rumio's got to try and carry on with that as well. Slash doesn't get DRS that time, but still about a second back, but can't push it too hard, otherwise those mediums will fall off. But all three, Grumio, Slazenger and Nicholas, all have the same amount of tyre wear at this point, about 6 laps or so on each set of mediums. And so they're all gunning with about the same level of grip as it stands. As Imri gets hit with a 3-second time penalty here, already down the order in P16. I think now he's served that drive-through. So a number of cars down the order who were doing fantastically earlier. Of course, look at Websy, PJ, Lucky was up there at one point, Che was going for it, and Imri obviously as well. So those guys were all in that pack earlier, fighting for around P3, P4, those sort of positions. And now all of them down the order, which leaves it wide open for a number of cars we wouldn't normally expect. Such, of course, like Cotney, for example. JB, of course, a regular point scorer, but he does have those moments sometimes in terms of late races. Of course, he's gone for it fantastically so far today. He's kept us out of trouble. He's going for P8 despite that incident on the first lap, which he survived with little to no damage. Had to make the wing change, of course, but now he's on for points.
Yeah, I see Slazenger climbing that gap back up. Did breach over a second, but it's now within 4/10 of that second. So Slazenger is really putting on the pressure here for Grumio, but you can't burn up your tyres a little too early. You've still got another 7 laps, so you've done 14 lap all mediums. It's possible, but you don't want to burn up those tyres.
And as I say, Pope, don't look now, but Nicholas is on his way up to these two. The gap now 1.7 seconds to him and Slazenger. And when these two start fighting each other with DRS, that's all the opportunity the Alfa Romeo driver needs to close that gap. A 3-second fight for position number 1 as Imri gets hit with a drive for a 5-second penalty, and that's the race over for him, retiring the car. And that's it for him. Again, another race that just hasn't gone his way today. Unfortunate luck in some cases, mistakes in the other, but hopefully we can see him bounce back.
Yeah, definitely. Imri's got the pace. It's just about putting the pace and the racecraft together, and obviously Spriggs had a little bit of luck in that situation as well. But yeah, a shame, but hopefully, and we'll need to bounce back in these next few races.
Definitely. Right, 7 laps to go. And these guys are all now within DRS range of each other. Nicholas, 1.4 off the lead. This race, Pope, is well and truly on now. 3 different cars, 3 different drivers. 2 of them still relatively new to the RDL. Sorry, one of them the champion, one of them a former returnee, and one of them a driver in just his this is his 5th start. Or his 4th start, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong either. I could be wrong. I think it's his well, no, I'm right. No, it is his 4th start. So again, 3 drivers in very different situations, but all of them gunning for the win here on tyres that have done the same amount of laps. It just depends on who uses them the best. Of course, Grumio has the lead in the ERS game. Quite a lot left in the tank. But these guys could still try and take him with DRS.
Yep, I mean, obviously, as a driver's perspective, you do not know how much ERS the other driver has until they go below 10%, which you will see a red flashing light on the back of the car. That signifies they are less than 10%. No driver is hitting that mark yet, so no one knows actually how much ERS they're on. Obviously, as a commentator, it's great to know that we actually do get to see that information. Grumio does have the advantage, and having the lead around this circuit as well, which you can defend so easily with that ERS, does put him in a prime position. However, these drivers are still absolutely rapid. I just want to see Nicholas and Schlesinger fight. That'd be incredible. We've already seen it once this race. We're about to see it again.
Grimio's up the whole way. And I do want to point out as well, of course, if Nicholas can do this and actually take the win, that'd be perhaps one of the best comebacks I've ever seen. Remember, he was nowhere off the start. He was last by turn 1, I remind you. And now he's in position to try and take the win. I'm sure he'll want to do that, go for win number 2 here, try and go back to back. But it'll be the first rookie I think I've ever seen to go back to back in this league. At least I've ever seen. I'm not sure if it's happened before. But lap 26 now, it still anything could happen.
Yeah, no, it's been absolutely brilliant so far. And I just want to say well done to the Alfa Romeo team who have really stuck it out this race. And like you were saying, Nicholas has definitely helped change the tone of the team a little bit after replacing TJ. They've become just incredible. They've been scoring more points. So I don't think they're completely ruled out of that Constructors' Championship battle as well.
More results like this where while Mercedes and Alpine struggle, and they could be on for it, but Alpine are about to score a big number of points today over Mercedes with the 25 going their way. Aston Martin, of course, looking to get away from the foot of the table a bit more, because they were there for quite a bit so far this season. But now Schlesinger, if he can keep on putting in results like this, and if Paris can get himself in there as well, then they could be in with a good chance of moving up some places towards the end of the season. As Haas sit bottoms, but now having Che in the car, so we're in for a good fight for those teams to avoid finishing last to constructors.
I mean, yeah, these drivers and teams that may have been struggling in the early part of the season definitely can have their tones changed with this new talent coming in. I mean, obviously, let's go to Haas, who actually I think are bottom of the table.
Correct, yes.
The only race they have had a race win actually this season. It was actually Monaco, which I won. So
stop it.
Brilliant. That was a good one. No one saw that one coming. But now chasing the car, you've got a fantastic driver who could definitely bring them some more points. 17 points for Aston Martin. Like you said, Schlesinger is going to bring a hefty amount of points home for them. 18 points. And then obviously Paris, who had to retire this race, that was been told to us. So hopefully next race we'll be able to score some more points. It's looking really good, and it's nice to see the constructors actually have a battle as well.
I'm seeing this, of course, we're keeping on this race for the lead here, because we've been focusing on the last couple of laps or so, because everyone else has spaced out quite a bit. Nicholas always looks to the outside for a second there, but I'm seeing what Grumio's doing. He's not using a lot of ERS to go out, half his battery left, but he's using it overtake on the exit, these DRS corners, to get himself away from these two behind him. And Schlesinger, despite having the DRS, is not closing that gap because he's got to conserve it more. And I'll assume these guys will go full balls to the wall at the end and start pushing for it. You see the red light on Nicholas's car implying that he's just low on ERS there. He almost went into that 10% threshold there a moment ago, going into one of the last couple of corners. We'll see what Schlesinger tries this time. Keep an eye on Grumio, of course. Not using overtake this time, but it's a very low speed corner, so you can't get as good a run off it compared to the car in front, of course, who doesn't have that dirty air to contend with. He's got a wide open racetrack in front of him, but he's not pulling away as he has been today. And Nicholas is close now, using his battery as well as Schlesinger for a second there. Might not go to the inside, not going to go for it just yet. Grumio there, just a couple more laps away, 4 laps away from another win, and he's really trying for it. He hasn't won since, I think it was Australia, which is round 3 of the championship. It's been 13 races. That winless streak is an age for the reigning champion. So he could be back to get back on top. Oh,
yeah, definitely. Oh, Nicholas with 3 penalty. That completely rules him out now of this thing. With 3 laps to go, it's going to be very, very hard to overtake both of these drivers and get a 3-second gap on them both. But for me, as soon as you hit that 10% threshold, you are stumped. You will lose it because it's so hard to regain that energy when you're on that low, especially when you're trying to battle against 2 absolute wicked fast drivers in Schlesinger and Grumio. So interested to see what's going on, but Grumio is looking rather comfortable now, just like you say, using it on the exit of corners, making sure he's got the gap. But I always have the theory of the 6/10 rule of if a driver's 6/10 behind you, even with DRS, more than likely you'll be fine.
I mean, unless it's like straight like Mexico or Spain. No, that main straight's pretty long, so I won't put past anyone to make a move there. So, yeah, obviously, I can't say too much. Of course, I haven't been in the car in these races very much, so I can't really speak on anyone's behalf in that respect. But we'll continue on here. Of course, Pope, you've got a lot more insight into that than I do, so we'll obviously take your word for it in that case. Still half a second between these two leaders right now. It's very close, but Slaznia just can't get close enough. He needs that little bit more edge that DRS isn't giving him. He needs to conserve some ERS and then go full balls to the end. Just chase it as fast as up, takes it away from Nicholas, who is looking at 15 points here. There's still a good haul for Alfa Romeo, but Grovi, despite probably won't finish in P4 unless Curtis spins out. I mean, she could still take away fourth on the track. She's not too far away here. If she can get the skates on and close the gap, she could be looking at P4 on track.
Yeah, she kept a very consistent gap to Curtis in all fairness, so she's done very well, but she has actually gained on BJ, so she's shown a lot of pace here today, and for someone who wasn't really that confident coming into racing here around Singapore, she's done an absolute stellar job, so hats off to the debutant there.
Slaznia looking back, got the closest ever been so far in this race. He's about less than a quarter of a second behind for a moment there. The DRS really showing it's good, and he used to think it'd be an overtake as well, but I think the plan is for Grumio is to keep conserving and then use it all on the final lap to ensure that, that he'll stay in front. But he'll want to make sure to get through this next lap and a half before trying to pull away from the Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo behind him, because they're still giving him pressure. Nicholas can't win the race, but he's still giving pressure to the current champion and the returnee. As he goes to the inside for second. And that force Slaznia away wide. That could be the race.
It's a brave move, that, and for Nicholas, I completely understand you trying to push the other driver into a mistake, as you see the red light flashing on Slaznia's car, which means he's hit the 10% threshold. It's all about, obviously, trying to stop other people trying to pull away and stuff like that, but when you've got 3-second time penalty and you're trying to force the driver into a mistake, it's really stumped Slaznia now, and if I was Grumio, with the gap just being a second, I'd start pushing now and try and break out that threshold now, so you got a nice another 2 laps where you can just relax a little bit more.
There's no relaxation with cars this fast behind you, Pope, but I mean you are right to some extent there, but Grumio will see what he does in these next few straights to perhaps put that race win just that little bit more out of reach for the Aston Martin, but Nicholas going for it there might have just cost Slaznia a chance at the win. Of course, fair enough for Nicholas. I mean, he obviously he's a racer, he's going to go for it, but he's definitely snookered Slaznia to some extent. But he's closing the gap back down. If he can use these DRS zones to his advantage and use his life of his battery too, then he could still be able to shout.
I just want to say, Fanta has just picked up a 3-second time penalty. There is someone 4 attempts behind him who'll be looking to make a move, and that is his championship rival, Sniper. Though it's only 1 point, you never know at the end of the season. We've had very close championships here before in the RDL, so 1 point could be the difference. Fans really stumped there, and he probably will be finishing outside the points paying position, so it's not been a good race for the Mercedes.
Falling apart for those guys. Racer could try and get him, Sniper could try and get him as well on the run here towards his next handle. Keep an eye on these two. The two championship rivals side by side. Sniper to the inside and takes P10 away and gets clear of the championship leaders. That's another point towards the championship conquest for Sniper Hunter, but narrows the gap down to 26 points now in the Drivers' Championship hunt as Nicholas is going for it on Slaznia into the penultimate chicane. Oh, and there he goes. Nicholas up into second place. Grumio now 2 seconds to the good, and provided he hangs on to it, he's 1 lap away from his third win of the season and his first win in 13 races. Nicholas now over to the left-hand side, try and break the toe with Slaznia. These guys are slowing up. What's happened to these two?
I think there might have been some tactics there. I don't know if it was Nicholas trying to give his position back or trying to make sure that he didn't have the DRS for the straight that's coming up now. Something to be noted, no doubt. I don't really like that type of racing. I don't think you should ever be braking like that on a start-finish straight. However, it's happened. Looks like Nicholas will be keeping P2 now. I don't think Slaznia will be able to make their position game, but like I said, Nicholas has got that 3-second time penalty, so at the end, it won't make that much of a difference.
And Grumio there now 4 seconds to go. It's almost to return to how it was earlier on in the Grand Prix. Grumio has dominated today. He's led pretty much every lap of this one so far, save for the few in the safety car, of course, came into the pits and then quickly retook the lead on the restart. So it's almost like he's never left us. It's been quite a while since we've seen a Grumio race. We've been waiting since about perhaps like late July, or about mid-July, or perhaps early August or so, since Australia. So it's been a long time coming. We're now at the end of October, nearing the end of Halloween month here, and Grumio is a few corners away here. It's been a long time coming for the reigning champion, who's of course went away from us for quite a few races, eliminated all chance of championship contention, but he's going to gain quite a few points back today and give Alpine a big boost to the Constructors' Championship for the first time in 13 races. Salve Grumio wins here in Singapore under the lights once again. Nicholas home in second, but narrowly loses out to Schlesinger in the end. He pulled out 2 seconds by the end of the flag. Curtis coming home for P4, and for Grubby there, 5 pit stops, position number 5 on the racetrack. Fantastic debut there to finish things off. I had to get to speak to her in the post-race interviews if we can at all. BJ home for 6th. At the top 4 in the standings, he was home in the highest place. Courtney Goblin, after all that, will finish in P7. He's had a fantastic day today, outscoring his teammate. JB home for 8th, narrowly in front of Websy. Might go for it in the line. Nope. Websy loses out by just 2 tenths there, and Ratio will claim the final point in the order. 1 point over Fan, 26 points. Now the championship gap, but Grumio on top, and the 26 points established from those guys today will be a big boost for them in the Constructors' Championship as they hunt down the Silver Arrows. But Pope, what a race.
Yeah, absolute crazy chaos throughout all that. It was absolutely amazing to watch, I do have to say. I'm not too sure what's happened there, but 24 laps from Fan on those hard tyres. That's very, very impressive to take that. And then 22 laps unlucky on those medium tyres. These drivers have really just put one of the hardest tracks to rest, and I think they're going to be all very happy to see the back of it. But I do have to say well done to all the drivers that did finish, because it's a grueling task to drive Singapore, but they put on a show, no doubt.
Definitely. For a dry race compared to a wet one, it was definitely absolute chaos. And of course, in the comms box, we love chaos a bit more than the drivers do, if I'm being entirely honest. We'll have to get post-race interviews going with these guys, because that was an absolutely fantastic affair of action tonight. We'll have to speak to our podium finishers. I think we'll have to get in with Grovey as well, because she's done fantastic tonight.
Yeah, no, it'd be nice to speak to all the people that were either returning or making their debut. And then obviously you've got someone already in here, someone very eager to talk with us. So can't wait for that.
So there's your podium then. Grumio wins it then for the first time in 13 races. The winless streak is over for the 6-time champion of the RDL. And he raises the trophy aloft in celebration. We'll have a look at your final results after this Grand Prix. So Grumio wins it from Schlesinger, then Nicholas, Curtis Shepard in 4th, Grovey 5th, BJ in 6th, Courtney 7th, JB 8th, Websy 9th, and Ratio rounds your top half. Then PJ, Lucky, Che, and Lycon, your next 2 finishers. Then Fan, Imri, which have failed to finish. Your other retirees, Shane, Dan, Ethan, and Paris, which retired in the first lap. So that's your race.
Yeah,
then.
shame for Paris, but Aston Martin, I really had to play. That is so 17 positions for Schlesinger. That is ridiculous.
Definitely, it's been a fantastic race for both our returnee and our debutant tonight. So we'll have to wait and see here. But once we get a few more drivers in, we'll start the post-race interviews. We've got Sniper in here already. I see Curtis joining us as well. So that's fantastic. Curtis, you want to mute up for us, mate, before we get started? Is that all right? Excellent stuff there. And so we'll see if we get any more of the podium finishers into the comms booth here, perhaps hoping for Schlesinger or Nicholas to come on in, or perhaps even Grumio as well, because we don't see Grumio for interviews very often. But before we get started on the interviews, just give me your thoughts on that race.
It was very, very good. A lot of chaos and a lot of close battling, no doubt. So yeah, no, I love watching Singapore, but I love racing it as well. It's a great track, and I think the drivers enjoyed the end of the Sector 3, the changed part of the circuit. I think that was very, very good.
Definitely. I was going to say that one more before we start post-race interviews here. Okay, right. So we'll get to Curtis first. He finished higher in the race. Curtis, do you want to unmute for yourself for us, buddy? Right then, mate. So,
hello. How are we doing?
Good, thanks. That was a chaotic race for us, mate. Talk us through it.
I don't know. I don't know how it was everyone else. For me, I haven't been here for the last 2 weeks. Felt a bit punchy, so I just went for it when I could. And luckily enough, I had good pace and happy with P4. To be honest, very surprised with P4, but happy with P4.
It was a fantastic thing to watch, of course. As chaos all over the shop today, but it was still P4, good return for you, and good points for Alfa Romeo with Nicholas finishing in 3rd place in the end. So what do you say? Are you guys looking for a push to try and catch Alpine and Mercedes?
Well, you might as well go for it, innit? I know he had a bit of a scuffle at the end of the race. I don't know what's going to come from that. But yeah, it's a very, very fun race. And then all the tracks, I can't wait for Vegas. Vegas will be really fun. But all the tracks coming up should be good. Should be good fun.
Should be an absolutely brilliant affair to watch, especially as you say Vegas later on in the season. Of course, the safety cars and virtual safety cars sort of threw a bit of the spanner into the works to you guys today. Any change of strategy there that really mix things up for you?
Well, I was hoping to go on the second season a lot longer and then go softs at the end, but the safety car, I think, one of the Hasses spun out, I think, and that sort of forced me onto the hards. But I had good pace, surprisingly, so I guess we take it.
Fair enough. Last question for you then. Oh, so after this race, that moves you up into, by my count, P6 in the championship. You move in front of PJ, if I'm not mistaken. Looking at the next Grand Prix on the schedule, that would be Japan next time on the 30th. We're looking forward to Suzuka.
Oh, I think Suzuka on this game is absolutely amazing. It's one of the best. Suzuka the last few years has been difficult because of the traction has been great on 21, 22, but 2023 it should be a whole lot of fun.
Definitely looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll see you back up there, up towards the front of the order again. So congratulations on the finish, and perhaps we'll see you back in this week.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you very much. Right, so we'll move on now to our next interview. Pope, do you want to take this one? We're going to interview Nicholas, our P3 finisher today. Get some experience.
Yeah, happily. So, Nicholas.
Yes.
Yeah, well, on the recovery drive, obviously, do you want to talk through what happened at the start of the race for us?
Yeah, the worst case scenario happened because I have, since days I have issues with my wheel that every button I press, another button activates as well. So if I press clutch, the brake activated, and the clutch deactivated when I pressed the brake, and it did not calibrate the clutch, so I couldn't drive off, so I was an anti-stall, so to say.
Right, yeah, no, trust me, I'm one to have wheel issues as well, so I completely understand that. But nonetheless, focus through the rest of the race, especially near the end of the race where you were battling Slazenger very, very hard. It looked tough. It looked very, very tough to do 31 laps of constant battling. How did you find it in the cockpit of the car?
Well, it was extremely, extremely painful because I know I had the pace. I know I could be up there fighting Rumi or fighting Imri as well, but he had damage on lap 1, which was very unfortunate as well. But yeah, the recovery drive was very good. I did the right call to go whilst the first safety car or second safety car came out to go 2 laps on soft and then go on the freshest tires, the hards. That gave me a bit of an advantage, but the rest was just hoping not get crashed. But my favorite scene was when I did this 3-car overtake. I think you saw that.
Yeah, I think we might have that on the stream, yeah.
Yeah, and then... yes?
Yeah, we'll take a look. That'll go in his shorts, no doubt. If he's caught it, it's going straight on shorts.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I say the soft thing. I was a bit obviously hesitant. I didn't know if you were going to just stick on the softs and then go onto hards for your last stint, which probably would have worked as well. But I thought very smart decision. And like you say, if you feel like you benefit from it, then it definitely works. On I think it was the last lap, maybe, or the second to last lap.
Yeah.
Start finish straight with Slazenger. What happened there? Obviously, you seem to have slowed down quite a lot. Was you trying to give the position back, or was it tactical?
Yes, I was trying to give him the position because I thought I was the only one of us having damage, and I did not want to ruin our race. Yeah, it was just unfortunate. I don't blame him. I don't blame me because it was just unfortunate. He crashed in the barrier. I crashed into him, and then I pushed him into the barrier, and then he had orange front wing, and I had a yellow one. So, yeah, nothing to do.
Yeah, lovely stuff. So yeah, I just want to congratulate you. Fantastic drive and really making yourself a name here in the RDL. So well done, mate.
Thank you.
Very good job there, Pope. You're getting good at these now. Hopefully the work experience is doing you some good. So thank you for doing that, and congratulations. I'll offer my congratulations to Nicholas as well for the podium finish. And hopefully we'll see you back here next week for Japan.
Yes, of course. Have a nice one, lads.
Cheers. And finally, we'll come to our second place man in the championship and our final point scorer of the night, Sniper Hunter, who I kept calling Ratio all night because that's what showed up on my stream. So apologies for that in advance. And one more point towards the championship today, Sniper, over Fan. 26 points on the gap. Is this still on? Is the championship still on?
I don't think so. It's just a joke, really. I mean, can't do a single race without getting taken out, but I'll try.
Talk us through how the race went for you. How did you find it?
Well, P20 lap 1, you know, just trying to have a bit of fun, then taken out lap 1, no front wing, up to P15, box, taken out again like lap 10, no front wing, half the box, involved in an accident from, I think it was Imri, just deciding not to use the brakes, lose my front wing, half the box again. But, you know, four of my last race I've DNF'd, 3 of which have been because I've been crashed into, so it's not ideal.
I mean still props to you for coming back and taking the point in the end, which of course is crucial towards being champion at the end of the day. Of course, as you say, a lot of chaos today. I mean, obviously the crash has compounded the strategy quite a bit, but how did you find the number of safety cars today?
It was fun. It was, I spent more time looking at a safety car than I did actually racing, so, you know, it just kind of says a lot about what's happening in this league with the amount of people who think the race is won at the next corner. It's just childishness, and it's just a really long 5-lapper basically.
Fair enough. Of course, yeah. So obviously the bad luck the last few weeks is perhaps hopefully with this, the last week we see a bit of that and we're back on form next week. Of course, Japan next time around. We're looking forward to Suzuka at all.
It's a fun track. I really enjoy it. I'm hoping I obviously turn my luck around and get a good result, but you never know. Sector 1 we might go too wide, then something might happen there. But I'll try.
Always good to try, and hopefully you can give me and Poke a race for the championship up here in the comments box, because by God we need it. Because honestly, I'm yet to see, me personally, I'm yet to see a title fight go down to the wire in this league. So I'm hoping you can do me a solid and get that going again for me, please.
Yeah, I'll definitely try. If it's not within 1 point at the final race, then I'll eat my own shoe. How about that?
I mean, we could just do a shoey and call it a day. But I mean, if you want to eat a shoe, that's fine with me. I won't eject on that.
Yeah, I'll stick with the shoey then. Shoey sounds good.
Definitely sounds good. If you win the championship, can we get you doing a shoey live on stream? Is that okay? Can we promise that?
Yeah, I'll promise that. That'll happen. I doubt I'll win the championship unless the stewards really sort out these tragic driving, but I'll try to win it for you.
You do what you can, mate, and if you still want to do a shoe at the end, then by all means we'll let you come on stream and do that once you've had Pope's singing whatever he's going to sing at the end of the season. But still, congratulations on the point closer to Fan in the standings. It's not over yet, so don't doubt just yet. The best thing we can do is just push on. Hopefully we see you back here next week.
Will do. See you next week, Zach.
See you guys in a bit. Right, so Pope, that'll be more or less it for us on the stream, as we as our offer motivation to Sniper to try and catch Fan, because I want a title fight to go to the last race. That's what we want here in the box, right?
Yeah, who doesn't want a title fight to go to the last race? I mean, the person driving, no doubt, especially the one leading the championship. But yeah, no, it's I really just want them to do well again, because we need to make sure that we have this fight, this great battle, and just to show. You know what I mean? I just want to see it. I just want to see them two fight for the top step of the podium like we saw previously.
Definitely, and hopefully the next iteration of this fantastic fight will come to you next week on the 3rd of October in Japan, the Japanese Grand Prix Suzuka. And so that'll be it for us here tonight in the comments box for the RDL. So thank you guys for watching this one. Of course, there'll be shorts later in the week if I can get my lazy ass around to making them, because I've fallen off in content, so I need to fix myself and get myself going again. So hopefully that'll happen, but if not, we'll be back here in the comments box, hopefully with Pope again next week. And yeah, so that'll be the end of the stream, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we shall see you next time. Goodbye. Brilliant. Alright, that'll be it.